betrayal in relationship is that there is this deception, but beneath deception lies deeper levels of truth of what was actually going on in the person. When they betrayed you, what was actually going on beneath the surface is
one partner committed infidelity and the other partner has been deeply hurt by that. Do you think it's possible to heal?
It's definitely possible. And I think that the things that is really important, the healing process, is to understand from your own personal point of view, how you wind up in a betrayal in the first place, right? And betrayal on a really deep level, and see if I can cut right to the core of this, betrayal, in every example I've seen, there's been some level of self-betrayal, right? And so betrayal is kind of like a meeting with your own shadow in a way. And what I mean by that is that, you know, when people have been betrayed by someone else, on some level, they have been betraying themselves and not being true to themselves. And so then they manifest a situation where a person winds up not being true to them. So that's the first thing that I would say. And that's a really important part of the equation in order to be able to heal, you know, through things like forgiveness and compassion, and ultimately with compassion, taking responsibility.
So when you say compassion, Oren, do you mean trying to understand from a neutral place what it actually means and why this took place?
First of all, even starting, I don't know if this is like the first step or the second step, but somewhere in the process, really forgiving yourself. Because what happens when we get betrayed is we generally wind up bouncing back and forth from being upset with the person and wanting to sort of reconcile the situation through the other person, and simultaneously being upset with ourselves. Like, how could I get myself in this situation? How did I not see this coming? And a lot of times I've seen in betrayal, in hindsight, we wind up seeing more clearly through our intuition and having this sense of, I kind of knew this was happening. And so what happens when we get betrayed in a relationship, we wind up beating ourselves up and also possibly beating up the other person. And so even in understanding, I think that understanding if you've been betrayed may not necessarily heal the situation or heal the trauma, but it's a good beginning point. And also really getting back to the heart, right? Getting back into your heart, and from your heart, really seeing the truth of what was going on beneath the surface. That's one of the things that's really difficult in any type of betrayal in relationship, is that there is this deception, but beneath deception lies deeper levels of truth of what was actually going on in the person. When they betrayed you, what was actually going on beneath the surface. And so I think getting to the truth of the situation, which can be really difficult if you're really angry, but getting to the truth of the situation is also part of the healing process. And that's understanding truly what it was that had the person be dishonest with you, to betray you in the first place. And so that's part of the process. And then from that understanding, this is where compassion and forgiveness can start to come into the picture. And then also ultimately your own self-forgiveness. Because as I said, in betrayal, what winds up happening is that you had a blind spot. Just as well as someone was deceiving you, you were deceiving yourself.